Hello, this is Rhys Hughes sitting in the pergola of Swansea University in the United Kingdom. And today I'm going to be interviewing Maithreyi Karnoor, whose debut novel, Sylvia, Distant Avuncular Ends, was recently published by Westland in India. It's a pretty amazing novel, I have to say. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I certainly think it's going to be one of my best reads of 2021. But we shall have to wait and see what the rest of the year brings. The first question I would like to ask Maithreyi is, the book is set in Goa, and it's very evocative of a particular time and place. It's clear to me that this isn't an imaginary version of Goa that you have simply conjured up for fictional purposes, but a real breathing place. A living place that your prose evokes its atmosphere without resorting to colourful descriptions. It is there implicitly in the background of the prose. So I'm going to ask you about Goa, and what does Goa mean to you? Why did you choose Goa as a background for the novel? And how did you so effortlessly invoke such a place that the reader can feel that it's a real region and has a real ambience? That's the first question.
Hello, Rhys. Thank you for doing this with me. How lovely that you're asking your questions from the pergola in Swansea University. I, on the other hand, I'm afraid have to respond to it from indoors because, unlike for you, summer isn't exactly a welcome season out here, and it's quite infernal, actually. I did think of going to the park outside my building, but the people walking around without masks, and I didn't want to take a chance. So I decided to film from my room instead. So, talking of Goa, I like to narrate a little anecdote to kind of indirectly address your question. I was living in Goa a couple of years ago. I was living in this tiny little village called Kurturim in South Goa. So one day I was expecting a letter from the author whose novel I was translating at that time. It was supposed to arrive from Bangalore. And I was in a bit of a hurry, so I went to the post office to check if the letter had arrived. And the clerks, it was just a couple of months since I'd arrived in that village, but I was already a known face there. So they recognized me. The clerk looked at me, smiled, and he said, "Oh, your letter? Yeah, I think there was a letter for you. But the postman has gone on his rounds and has probably got it in his bag." And he said, "If you walk fast, you'll probably be able to catch up with him. He's in that street." He pointed me to the street that he'd gone in. And I did actually find him. And I saw that he had parked his cycle in the middle of the road with a bag of letters on it. And he was across the road talking to the barber in the barber shop, exchanging pleasantries and that sort of thing. He looked at me, smiled and waved, but he was in no hurry to come back because he had to finish the conversation he was having there. So I waited for him near the bicycle for as long as it took, and then he came back and he said, "Oh yeah, I know there's a letter for you, but it's lost in the bag. I will bring it. I know where you live, so go home, I'll bring it to you in some time." And he did come after some time, got me my letter, and I invited him in for a cup of tea, and he accepted. And that's the sort of thing that's done there. I mean, he had several other houses to go to, several other deliveries to make, but that's the kind of pace there is to life in Goa. Nothing is more important than exchanging a neighborly moment with somebody there. And I've always found that very attractive about Goa. I'm a small town person, and the speed of cities scares me, and I look for that kind of slow life where people are nice to each other and they stop and think and reflect on life and such like. So there is that quality about Goa, and I don't at all subscribe to this popular idea of Goa as being a vacation destination where the people go there to party in the pubs and casinos where you can do anything you like, where celebrities think it is okay to streak on the beach and things like that. I never really liked that, and I know the Goan citizen was not happy about that sort of thing either. There are real problems on the other hand. There is the environment is being destroyed at an alarming pace every day, and people are concerned. And all of that is done in the name of development, so people are concerned. So I'm kind of attuned to what's going on, and I understand. And to me, Goa is a place. The Goan is the Goans are a people with a special history and a unique kind of identity, and that must be respected. So while a Goan is rightly suspicious of the outsider, on the other hand, when they see that you come there with humility and respect, they open their hearts to you, and I found that very, very endearing. I've several such stories, endearing stories, which made me feel like I belong and made me feel accepted there. And one, when you are a sensitive person, you kind of absorb the culture around you, and that kind of finds its way into your stories. But I also did not want to romanticize it too much, because I know there are problems. There are unlike anywhere else. I mean, like everywhere else, there are class disparities, and the caste system manifests itself in its own unique way there. So all these things, I did a little bit of research. I read its history a little bit, apart from living there and understanding the place to what extent I could, and all of that kind of found its way into my novel. And to answer your question, I did not choose Goa. I think Goa chose me to set my novel there.